along for this, but I thought, you know, sometimes it's okay to bring people along and get that real life feel for it. I made a video where I used a recipe from a friend here on YouTube, and the bread is absolutely delicious. But after comments and private messages, I totally realized what happened. I let that bread overrise, and what that means is you can't let it go overboard or it'll deflate. And I know that, but I honestly didn't think it was that long. You know, a lot of times it's an hour for that, even that second rise. This was 20 minutes, and I think I might have let it go 30. You know, you get busy with stuff, and so it did overkill. But I'm going to try the recipe again, and I'm probably going to try it one more time in my new pan that I got ordered on Amazon. I'm so excited. So this is Noreen's recipe from Noreen's Kitchen, and I'll leave you a link to her channel. And Heather over at the Needy Homesteader, who is going to be drawing names tomorrow, or today, probably today when you see this, but she's going to be drawing names on the subscriber contest, where I have you go over and subscribe to her channel and tell her I sent you. And anyways, it's been fun to watch. So that being said, we're going to do Noreen's version of the perfect sandwich bread, which I am in desperate need of. And I want one that will stay fresh for more than a day. I'm very careful about not cutting my bread when it's too hot. I'm super careful on all that. I don't really care about the shape. We'll eat it if it's lofted over, but I am excited to get my new bread pan, and I'm gonna surprise you guys with that. So let's get started. So we need 1.5 cups of warm water. Warm to the touch, but not hot, not cool. You want to activate the yeast without killing it. If it's too hot, it's gonna kill your yeast. Ragnar, no. And then 2 teaspoons of yeast, and I actually proof my yeast, but I know that I keep it in the freezer. I've never had a yeast fail, except for the first time I made bread for my ex-husband. It came out like a really dense flatbread. And then I dug the little packages out of the garbage, and his yeast was expired. So it was his fault, not mine. Okay. We're going to need sugar to give that yeast something to feed on. Yeast loves sugar. And Heather says you can use honey. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you could probably use maple syrup too, if you have pure maple syrup. It's snowed outside, and my puppies want to go out there, but I don't want them tracking mud back through because it's not really covered the ground completely, so there's spots of mud. So we're going to go ahead and give that a little stir just for a second. And then we're going to put some flour in, and let's start out with 4 cups of flour. Bread really couldn't be easier. I'm on a mission to make my own bread. I'm done paying premium prices for bread that I can make. I mean, I'm doing this. I've got a roast in the oven. We're gonna have warm bread, or bread for dinner if we want, tonight. It doesn't take that long. It's 15 minutes of prep time. Oh my goodness. And then, nice thing about storing my flour in these jars, the measurements are on the side, so I can kind of tell that I've got 4 cups in there, or close to it. And right on top of that, I'm going to add my salt, and I'll leave the teaspoon of salt. I'll leave my measurements in the description box below for you. And we need 2 tablespoons of instant dry powdered milk. If you get the powdered milk that's not instant, it doesn't work correctly. So you want the instant dry milk. And there you go. And now think we've got everything except for our butter. We have 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Doesn't have to be melted. You don't want anything hot going in here on your yeast. Just soft, like a warm room temperature soft. And we'll get this mixed up. And unfortunately, I think I'm gonna be needing a new mixer. Oh my gosh, look at, okay. I'm gonna be covered in flour. I should have worn something white. So you wanna go ahead and mix this until it's, everything gets well incorporated and it pulls away from the bowl clean. And then we're gonna let this rise until it's doubled in size. Perfect. I'm going to let this knead for about 7 minutes. And I put my mixer on a 1. You don't want to go higher than a 2 with the KitchenAid. This old KitchenAid, she's probably, it was given to me, and it was a friend of ours, grandmother's. So I'm gonna say it's probably 35, 40 years old. I'm not sure. If anybody knows how to tell, let me know in the comment section below, because it's an old beauty. I just love it. But I would like to have another one. Okay, so I do need more flour. I'm gonna go ahead and lift her up, and you can see it's too sticky. Just add a little bit at a time until you get it correct. And there you go. So we'll be back when we're ready to put it in the bread pan, because that's really all there is to it. So what I want to show you is this dough. Once it's done kneading, you should be able to touch it without it sticking to your hands. It's tacky, but it's not going to stick. It comes away clean from the bowl. Everything is perfect. And I'm just going to put it right back. My bowl is clean. You should be able to work with it like this. And this is what I did last time. I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm not gonna let it over rise on that second rise. I'm sure that's what happened. Thank you, Heather, for helping me. She private messaged me, and a couple of other people also helped me out. So this dough is gonna go in here, and oh, it's beautiful. It's just supple, and when you push on it, it should spring back slowly. But that means that the gluten strands are all where they should be. So we're gonna let this rise just like that in the same bowl. I don't like dirtying an extra bowl unless it's totally for your visual. But tonight, it's gonna be for with dinner. Maybe, it might be for other stuff, but cover it with plastic wrap, and there you go. And you're gonna put that over on the warm stove and let it rise, and I'll be back when So I've cleaned off my surface of my counter, and my bread has doubled. Look at that. I'm super excited. Oh, it smells so good too. Anybody that bakes bread knows what I'm talking about. So I've got my cast iron pans. The important thing for this is cast iron can get really cold just sitting. So you want to go ahead and put that on top of your stove and let the oven heat, warm it up. You don't want them hot by any means, but you want them warm. And I've sprayed them so that I've got a non-stick surface. I'm gonna go ahead, because I've got my counter cleaned, I'm going to get my dough out of here. And guys, this is a beautiful dough. You're gonna pull it away from your bowl. Okay, so I've got my dough out on the counter. I'm gonna go ahead and split this right in half. And the reason I'm doing this is because these are smaller bread pans, and as you can see, it does not stick on the counter. I'm not gonna get as meticulous about putting my dough in here. I'm gonna make sure it's deflated though, and the air bubbles, if I see any, they're out, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pan. And these will be smaller loaves, but that's okay. Once I get my new bread pan. Go ahead and push that into the corners according to Heather's instructions. And get this. Oh, I'm excited. I love fresh bread. And literally, I have done the breakdown on the cost. I buy my flour in bulk. I buy my yeast in bulk. This actually, for this loaf of bread, it cost me 20 cents. And if you're trying to cut back and you want delicious things to put on your table, home canning and baking your own bread is probably the easiest way to save money at the grocery store. So let's put this one in, and I'm gonna push it out. And I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes this time, because I don't want this to overrise. Now, these loaves are probably gonna come up right to the top. They're not gonna go over the top and be lofty like a big loaf would be, which is totally fine, because if this works out, then I am using this for my little, I've got pimento cheese sandwiches that are gonna be going to a party, and I really want it to be on homemade bread. I feel guilty when I buy store-bought things and serve it to people, you know, when I can make it homemade and make it better. So I'm gonna cover this with a little plastic wrap, set it on the top of my stove where it's nice and toasty, it's not hot, and let this rise for 20 minutes. That's it. So can we go any further than that? Dough has had a chance to rise for 20 minutes. And these are in my little, they're not huge loaf pans. These are my cast iron Lodge loaf pans. I'll leave a link in the description box for them. I absolutely love them. And for me to branch out and do a different kind of bread loaf, it's kind of scary, but I'm gonna do it. And I can't wait. I'm gonna make this a surprise for you guys. The loaf pan I have ordered won't be in for a week, of course. I couldn't get it prime, but I'm excited. So if any of you have any guesses of what kind of loaf pan I ordered, go ahead and leave that in the comment section. We're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven. It's gonna continue to rise. So, so guys, this bread was in the oven for 30 minutes. And I think that's because of my altitude. I live at a pretty high altitude compared to Heather and Noreen. But it smells amazing. I love the way it looks right now. It rose up exactly how I wanted it. One's just a hair smaller, not much, honestly. But I want to take it out of the bread pan so we can see what kind of, ooh, look at that. Ooh, beautiful. Look at, you guys. Oh, and it's so light. It absolutely feels like a beautiful sandwich bread, and I can't wait. I'm not gonna cut into this crumb though. You don't want to ruin your crumb. You can smash it, you can dry out your bread. There's all kinds of factors involved. So let's put that over there. It feels perfect. I think that I have redeemed my self in the bread making, because I was like, I've been making bread since I was 19. And now all of a sudden I have a problem. Anyways, these will make perfect little sandwiches too. Not a huge slice. And if I wanted a big slice of bread, I would do this in a big loaf pan, but I love my cast iron pans, and until I get my new pan, so that's my what I'm gonna keep. Bread has had a chance to cool completely. I am absolutely in awe of how beautiful this is. And this is what it should have been the last time, I'm quite sure. I'm gonna cut into this. I'm gonna cut into the smaller loaf because, well, it's shorter. It's just a little shorter than the other one, but it's gonna be perfect for what I have planned. And again, you don't want to cut into bread too hot. Ooh, look at how pretty. Oh my gosh, look at that crumb. It's beautiful. I'm gonna let this focus. Focus, focus, focus. Oh, it's beautiful and smells delicious. This is way different than what I had from over rising the bread. So user error. I don't know, we probably have all done that. But for sandwiches, I'm gonna slice this just like a sandwich loaf. And look it, I can do it really easily with that bread knife. See if it holds up to peanut butter and jelly and butter and all those good things. My butter is kind of cold because it's cold in here. It's like 36 degrees outside. But it's not falling apart. Look at that. Okay, so I'm excited about the crumb for sure. And now we get to give it a taste test. Is this worthy of a 5-year-old's birthday party? Because I'm gonna make some finger sandwiches and I need a really good bread. And I don't want to buy Wonder Bread. Ew. I just feel icky about it. Okay, bite, bite. You see it, see it, see it? Whoa, whoa, can't do that. Oh my gosh. It tastes the same as the bread the other night, but it's so soft and delicious. I am so excited. So I can't, oh my gosh. I'm not gonna be able to stop eating it. I am so happy with this. I can't wait to see how long this stays fresh. Now, I'm gonna give you an idea. I buy, these are bread bags, and I use these for everything. You know, instead of wasting a good Ziploc bag that's very expensive, I use these bread bags. They're inexpensive. They hold whatever food you need for, you know, however long you need in the refrigerator. And so this bread, I'm not gonna slice it up and let it air out. These are completely cooled. I'm gonna go ahead and get the air out of the bag and seal these up. Tomorrow I'll be making my little sandwiches that I need to make, and I'm super excited because these are perfect size. I don't even have to cut them into bite size or, you know, the correct size sandwiches. They'll be beautiful little mini loaves, and I'll have plenty for all my guests. And literally, this cost me 20 cents. 20 cents for 2 loaves of bread. I hope you guys go over and visit Noreen's channel and Heather's channel and tell them I sent you, because this bread's delicious and I can't wait to make it again.